I am God. I am poop. Expose, concealed, cistern. So, that needs a lot of explaining. I'm God, and I have a physical body. I poop. That's right, I go to the toilet, I poop. Some demons like to call my poop the Pope. Um, it's very interesting. You know, there's that cardinal. He's called, what's his name? Pizza Balla. I had an enormous pizza the other day. It was wasn't was it yes? It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. So it was In fact, well, no, it was yesterday. It was yesterday, May the 6th. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, whatever. I know I sound like a total madman, but I'm going to explain this. Please listen. So, in a bathroom, there's something called a water cistern, okay? And there's the exposed type of water cistern, and there's the exposed type of cistern. So, in my house where I'm living at the, stop it, hang on. Sorry, my hand gestures keep setting off the camera. So where I'm currently living, all the water cisterns in the bathrooms, they're all concealed. Where I used to live in Brighton, I only had one toilet there, and it had an exposed cistern. Now, you're probably wondering, why the hell does any of this matter? What is so important about this? Um, well, um, my mum's dead, okay? Her name was Fiona. Her name was Fee. That's short for Fiona. Okay, shit is called feces. My mum's a very evil demon. It's the same with Mary. When Mary and Fiona, they both try. So when I was born as Jesus, when I was Jesus, when I was born, Mary wanted to steal my light. Okay, that's why they set up the Catholic Church the way it's set up, right? That's why they did it that, because, that's the thing. Mary and Fiona, when they gave birth, they tried to steal that daylight. Yeah, they went, oh, it's his birthday, and she's the one who gave birth. Mary or Fiona, right? So it's a demon trying to take away the light of God, and so the thing is, my dead mum's sister, called Christine Neal, Dr. Christine Neal. She used to be a nun when she was a young woman. And, I mean, obviously, look at her name, Christine. So that's spelled Christine. Look at all these cardinals, all these priests. They've all been in the Sistine Chapel. Yeah, the reason, they're all connected to this, right? So they're all demons trying to stop me from being known. And and so, in the bathroom where there is the cistern, the water cistern, okay, that's spelled Cistern. And so, and obviously my mum had two sisters. One was Alison, and the other one's Christine Neal. And so they're all witches. They're all trying to steal my light. You see, a nun. What's a nun? Yeah, what is a nun? That's like saying nothing. There's nothing there. And see, demons are trying to call me nothing. They're saying I don't exist. And people are treating me. People are treating me like I don't exist. So I'm gonna, because I got my tablet, I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I'll go to my internet browser, and I can write on my tablet. So so here's my internet. Here's this pizza Bala guy. Will he be the next pope? The next pope? Yeah, I eat a giant pizza. I go take a shit. Yeah, and out comes, a fucking brown. You know what I mean? Like, I ate a gigantic pizza, and, what's left of that pizza? Out he comes. Yeah, Mr. Pope. Yeah, maybe it'll be him, maybe it'll be someone else. I got a curry in the fridge. I got some macaroni cheese. And I got, what else I got? I got Hunter's chicken. Um, anyway, I ate a bag of crisps today. Maybe we get a Christopher or something. Yeah, salt and vinegar crisps, kettle chips. What else did I eat today? I ate some Brunswick ham, a German Brunswick ham. It's a sick joke what demons do. They really are fucking sick in the head. But anyway, look. If I go back here, so this is what a toilet cistern looks like. Okay, so that's what that's like a regular toilet cistern. So when you flush, when someone uses you know what I mean? Look at this. I mean, you see the alamai. This is the. You see how it's written all over the image. Yeah, it's not a mistake that it's called alamai. Yeah, it's witchcraft. But well, a lamb as well. Lamb is in there, right? A lammy. But obviously they're not. But this is a water cistern. And that's what is used to flush toilet waste away. So if I go to the toilet, I pee or I poo, or both, and then I flush the toilet, and then it's gone. um, I mean, in my house, the toilets don't have handles. They don't have a toilet lever or a handle. They have buttons, right? Butt-ons, right? So I have to push the butt on for the toilet to flush. But obviously, when I use the toilet, I'm the one who's the butt on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? This is demon word magic. It's this demon's trying to steal my destiny through all this crazy stuff, basically. So this is what a concealed cistern looks like. So it's hidden it's just hidden behind like some sort of board, so it sort of blends in with the deck, with the decor of the room. So it's not, it's not obvious that it's there. Like in this one, you can see it's there. So that's the difference between a exposed and a concealed cistern. And the thing is that my aunt, my mum Fee, my dead mum Fee, her sister was a Catholic nun for a short time when she was young. And she's that's the thing, she hates God. She doesn't believe in God. She doesn't believe in Jesus. She's a hater of God. Hang on. So, this is all witchcraft. This is all very evil witchcraft. So I'm gonna go to my notes here. Okay, so let me do some writing. So my aunt is called Dr. Christine Neal. Okay, she was a nun in the past, right? And the thing about nun is, it means zero. It means not thing. Yeah, nothing. This is, I write it as with a K because, well, this you need to understand that these demons, they're trying to trap me and pretend that I am nothing. So, Christine is, that's the thing, right? She was a nun, right? And then, and she would have been called a sister, right? A sister. And obviously she turned from the Catholic faith, right? She ran away, right? She was like, nope, not doing that anymore. And all this matters because, you see, the demons, they want to set up and they want to create an artificial system. I'm God, I'm alive, I'm in this body, I have to poop on a daily, basically a daily basis, or whenever I need to poop. Basically, I mean, because of all this magic, it affects me, right? Sometimes, a lot of the time, I'll poop every 2 days. And there's a reason for that, because a number 2 is called a poo, right? And so it's messing with me in so many ways. Because I have to fight a magic battle with everybody. It's not good for my health. So you see, this is the thing, right? Because it's interesting, because my aunt Christine, yeah. So Auntie, Christ, yeah. You ever heard of the Antichrist? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Auntie Christine. So, and obviously, the word cistern, well, in the Catholic Church, they have they've got the keys, the key thing, right? They have that symbol they have for the the holy, they got the key, they have the symbol for the keys, right? Like that. Keys turn. Well, this is the thing, right? Because I go to the toilet, I turn around, I sit down, I sit on it to take a crap, to do a poop, or what demons would like to call a poop. And the thing is that, the world wants to deprive me of water. And that's, water is associated with emotion, love. Yeah? You see, I'm God. When God sits on his throne, water comes from underneath, the water comes underneath God's throne. Okay, so that it talks about that in the book of Revelation. Okay, if you don't believe, this, I'll find the quote. Okay, hang on. One second. I'll pause the video. Okay, so the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 11. Okay, it says here, "Then I saw a great white throne, and him who was seated on it. The earth and the heavens fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened." Another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. Okay, hang on. Where's the part about hang on a second. Maybe it's 21. Yeah, so Revelation chapter 22 verse 1. "Then the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb down the middle of the great street of the city." Okay, so the water flows from the throne of God. Okay, that's from me. You see, when I go to the toilet, people call the toilet the throne, right? So this is why this is important. Okay, I'll show you those verses quickly. Okay, so Revelation 22, and this is the other thing, because Mary, who was the mother of Jesus, she died when she was 22 years old, because Mary, Aaliyah Dana Houghton, who was the black singer, she was a singer who died in a plane crash when she was 22. And she died in 2001, August the 25th, 2001. So, this is where what the Bible ends, right? You have Revelation chapter 22, and that's it. That's the end of the Bible. And Mary died when she was 22 years old. So where's Bible Hub? Bible Hub. Here we go. So you can read it there. "Then the angel showed me a river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb, down the middle of the main street of the city. On either side of the river stood a tree of life, bearing 12 kinds of fruit, and yielding a fresh crop for each month. And the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations." Well, look, the thing is, where I live in a house which is number 12. And where I used to live, I used to live at flat 24, Albion House in Brighton. But, and this all matters. This all matters. So if I go back to Revelation 21, no 20. Why am I looking at? Yeah. Anyways, the NIV. Just use the NIV. That'll do. So, verse 11. Then I saw a great white throne, and him who was seated on it. The earth and the heavens fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. Well, this is the thing, right? When a man goes and sits on a white toilet, which, people call the throne, it might be a joke, but that's what people call it. Yeah, that's the thing. People flee from his presence, right? Because most people, when a man goes to take a shit on a toilet, people tend to go the other way. They don't fucking stand next to him and fucking watch him take a dump on the toilet, do they? But this is the thing, I'm God. I poop, right? I'm God. Yeah, I know. I have to explain these things. As crazy as it's a crazy story to have to explain. I'm not crazy. It's just that the demons would like you to think I'm crazy. They'd like to make it look like I'm crazy. So, this is the thing, because the cistern thing, well, it's all about trying to steal my identity. Because that's the thing, right? Because, like I've explained in my old videos, I was Jesus Christ, right? My past, right? So, pa, as, crucifix, okay? So my past is it's my behind, it's my bum. And so the light of Jesus Christ, it shines from my butt star. Yeah, my sun is my butthole, basically. If you actually read the book of Revelation, yeah, Jesus talked about sitting on his Father's throne. Yeah, well, my throne is my butthole. Okay, where I poop. Yeah, there's a reason why the Pope, his name is the Pope. Yeah, there's a reason why, and there's also a reason. The people like to kiss the Pope. Kiss. Yeah, keys. Yeah, people like to keys the Pope's ring. Yeah, the Pope's ring. It's the poop ring. This is all butthole talk. That's what it is. um uh so Christine Neal, my aunt, yeah, her maiden name is Reed, and she's actually married to a man called Donald Neal. Donald used to be Abraham. This is the thing, because the reason why the Catholic Church, all these cardinals, they want to, they're doing this secret, the concealed voting and stuff like that. Well, it's all magic. It's all magic to, they're trying to pretend they're me. So the thing is that I when I poo feces. And my dead mum, her name was Fee or Fiona Suzanne. Did I spell that wrong? I think I spelled that wrong. Nah, I think that's yeah. Salvin. I mean, Pope. So this is the thing. I mean, Pope Francis. He just died, right? So, you see, my great uncle. Okay, so my great great oh, fucking hell, great uncle. His name was Frank Goddard. Yeah, Frank. Great. You see, the word 8 is in there, and obviously my name is Grant. Yeah, so eight uncle. This is the thing, right? When I eat something, I have to poop it out. Yeah, and it goes, I have to flush it with water from the cistern. Yeah, the evil, so this is the thing. This is the only reason my aunt, Christine Neal, the only reason she ever became a nun is because she is serving Mary. She's evil. She's a demon bitch who wants to hide me. She wants to steal my light. She wants to kill God, me. That's her only aim in life, is to destroy, is to fight me. And it's the same with all these, with Frank, it's the same with Fiona, it's the same with Allison, my mum's other sister. It's everyone in my biological family, they're exactly the same. And that includes my biological dad, who's called Charlie. Okay? Or Charles. My mum was a lesbian. Yeah, she was cremated. Charlie is another way for saying sodomy. Because obviously shit looks like charcoal. Um, King Charles the Third, right? Or the Third. He sits on the throne. He's the reigning monarch, isn't he? And obviously, Mary, she was Leah. Yeah, so Char, because she was a black woman, right? So she had dark skin. Yeah, Lee. Yeah, Lee. See, all these people are demons. They're all trying to. They're trying to attack me. They're trying to steal what is mine, light. Um, what's happening in this world is, well, everything is getting destroyed. The world is being destroyed. Your life is going to be ruined unless I get what I want. I want justice. So, let me zoom out. Put a line around here. Okay. So this is the thing. When I lived at my old address, I used to live in Brighton. I lived at flat 24 Albion House, Bright on, and I had an exposed toilet cistern. And now I realize that you know there was a magic. It affected my magic. It affected my life. These things are affecting my life. The fact that I now live in where I live now, which is oh fucking hell. I live 12 the Avenue. Okay, and I live in St. George's. Weston-super-Mare. Yeah? I mean, this is the problem, right? Because mare is another way of saying Mary. It's a sneaky way of saying Mary. And I have concealed cistern. Cistern. It's important. You see, this is the thing, right? I'm God, and I am trying to get rid of the evil demons. Yeah, and they don't want me to get rid of them. Yeah, they're holding on. They're trying to hold on to whatever power. They're just trying to hang on, and I'm trying to get rid of them. So, I've explained all that. So, can I get rid of this? Don't really want to leave that on. Not quite sure why I did that, but I did it anyway. um, so what else can I say? Not that, but yeah, I think I've said pretty much all I want to say for this video, really. I mean, this is the thing. I am the crack. I'm God. I am the crack of lightning. Thunder and lightning. Yeah? Do you know what day it is? So today it's the 7th of May, which would have been it was my mum's birthday. Fiona. She was born on the 7th of May. Tomorrow is the 8th of May. Okay? And obviously, Mary has the word May in it. And obviously, 8, right? So this has to do with eating and pooing, right? I shit Mary. Yeah, I poop Mary. I poop Fiona, feces, yeah? This is the thing. This is all, that I'm the crack, my butt is the crack of light, okay? The bolts of lightning, come down from my ass, a zigzag like that, yeah? The throne of God. I am Yahweh. The storm God. Or I guess you could say store Mary, right? Because she's a shit demon, right? I poop a shit demon called Mary. Yeah, people call her Mother Earth. Yeah, she's a dirty whore. Yeah? I mean, think about this as well, recycling or bin strike. I mean, that's the thing, bin, if I eat something, well, it comes, the bin is where the waste goes, right? But this is also another way of saying sodomy. Because people who do anal sex, well, it's kind of like a bin strike, isn't it? But the thing is, I'm God. I am the crack of lightning. Yeah, I'm the one who shoots bolts of lightning. You see, Jesus once said, so in the book, I think it's the Gospel of Luke, Jesus said, I saw Satan, right? So sat, anus, yeah? So, that's the thing. If I sit on a toilet, if I'm sat on a toilet with my anus, I push out a poop or a put, yeah? I saw Satan fall, fall like lightning, yeah? Because this is the thing, Satan, these demons, they want to pretend they want to pretend that they're the light. That's the thing. And obviously the word light is in the word lightning. um and this is the thing, I was going to do this in a separate video. I was going to do that in a separate video, but I guess I've included that now. I mean, this is the thing. I got a lot of rubbish I need to put out, and I've got a lot of rubbish I need to put out, but I seem to have missed it today because it's too late to do it now, and I fell asleep by accident. So, and I figure, well, it's probably for the best because, well, the 8th of May is tomorrow, and that has significance. My mum's ex-girlfriend, by the way, my mum's ex-girlfriend was called, her name is Jennifer Jenkins. And her birthday is the 9th of May. So, that's the thing. My mum, Fiona, her birthday is the 7th of May. And Jennifer Jenkins, her birthday is the 9th of May. And that's the day after. You see, the 8th of May is the day before. So the 8th of May is what's behind. Yeah, so the 8th of May is what is behind the 9th of May. It's magic. It's witchcraft. And Jennifer Jenkins, that's the thing. If you're their zodiac sign is Taurus. Taurus is associated with the bull. And in tarot, there is the Hierophant card. So the Hierophant card, yeah. So here's the Hierophant card. Okay, you can see the Roman numeral at the top. It says V. Yeah, V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. Mary died when she was 22. So the Hierophant, that card is supposed to represent the religious institution. But the thing is, the word Hierophant, it actually comes from the cult of Demeter. It was like an ancient Greek cult. It was called the cult of Demeter and Persephone. And you notice, you see there's the two keys at the bottom. It's where you see it where his feet is. There's the two keys. That's associated with the. I think it's associated with the Holy See. So, this is all evil witchcraft. This is what this all is, right? I mean, what kind of moron? That's the thing. There are a lot of people out there who claim that they're Christians, but they're also tarot card readers. And they look at the Hierophant card, and they think that has to do with the church and God. But that's total bullshit. Actually, the zodiac sign, which is associated with the Hierophant card, is Taurus, which is the bull of the zodiac. Of all the zodiac signs, it is the bull. Yeah, it's associated with Taurus. Strangely, yeah. So my dead mum, she was a Taurus. She wants to be God. That's the thing. She wants to be me. She always did. I mean, this is the thing, right? Oh, hang on. Sorry, forget that. Oh, flipping it. Sorry about that. You can see me, yeah? You're not gonna pretend I'm a corn on the cob or some other guy or whatever, right? Like, that's what demons do, you see? They always want to pretend I'm somebody else. But anyway, but that's the thing. My mom, she was called Fee. And obviously, I am male. Yeah? That's the thing. I am male. Her name was Fee. She wants to pretend that I'm a woman. And she wants to pretend that she's a man. And all kinds of stuff. That's what these demons, they keep playing this stupid game. um I mean, when I was a kid, you know, because my mum was in a lesbian relationship with Jennifer Jenkins, people used to say I had two mums. Or, it was like I had two mums instead of just one. So that's another annoying fucking thing. Because, that's it's all it is more witchcraft. I used to tell the kids at school, I used to say Jennifer is my mum's sister. So this is the thing, cistern. Do you remember what I was talking about? The toilet cistern? Well, this is the thing. Jennifer, she used to be called, I used to tell kids at school that she was my mum's sister, that she was my aunt. Yeah, and you know what Genesis is, right? Genesis. Yeah, the beginning. I'm God, I am the creator. I am Genesis. Not Jennifer Jenkins. She's a witch, an evil bitch. She's gonna burn in hell. Same with the rest of these evil bitches. Mary, Fiona, Christine, Frank, Pope Francis. Oh yeah, he's going to hell as well. And whoever these cardinals think they're electing, they're all going to hell. They are Mary worshippers. They have no, that's the thing. They shouldn't have. They chose that path. They chose destruction. They went. That's the path they went down. So, um, you see, the thing is, I was talking about putting out the rubbish. And the thing is, well, my house is being put in my name at the moment. So technically, it might still be in my mom's name, but it's being put in my name. And the thing is, what's a hoe? Yeah, a hoe is a whore. Yeah, hoe, use. These are separate words. Yeah. That's the thing. People equate mother with earth. Yeah. So, matter. In Latin, mater means mother. And so the world is fighting me with all kinds of shit magic and toilet magic and rubbish magic and bin magic and all this stuff. And the thing is, I am God. I am the fountain of living water. It comes from my throne. It comes, my butt is the crack of lightning. My butt is Jesus Christ. My butt is crucified. This is, I've explained this so many times, but the crucifix is associated with Sodom and Egypt. So the crucifixion of Jesus is associate, Jesus was, it took Sodom and Egypt. I've explained that so many times. I've explained it in so many videos. If you don't know that, well, go stick your head in a, just your head stuck in the sand, right? Or whatever, right? You're just a fucking idiot. Fuck off and die. You see, Mary, she came back as a woman called Aaliyah. And obviously, I am Yahweh. And Allah, well, if you spell it with just one L, then, that's in the name Aliyah. And Aliyah means the most exalted one. Yeah, that's the reason why she died in a plane crash. She got on a plane, it was overloaded, and it crashed after it left the runway. It got 60 foot, it didn't get very far, and it just crashed. And that was in 2001. I'm the reason why she's dead. Because she wanted to pick a battle with me. And that's how she got herself killed. Right? I'm too powerful. I'm God. The reason why there's a war between India and Pakistan now, the reason that people are fighting in Ukraine and Russia and all these places, I'm the one who's causing all the chaos. Because you either give me, if you don't give me what I want, then you get chaos. You get people fighting, lots of bad stuff's gonna happen. I mean, it is happening. What more can I say about this? I mean, this is the thing, right? When Jesus was crucified, I was Jesus. So when Jesus died, he went down to Hades. He got the keys. Yeah, the keys of death and Hades. Okay? So let me go back to my internet thing here. So, hang on. So I was born the 14th of November, 1987. And in tarot, Scorpio is connected with the death card. Okay? So this is supposed to represent me. Here's this guy, a skeleton guy in armor on a white horse, a pale horse. And here's this priest looking guy, or maybe he's supposed to be the Pope. You see there's this dead guy down here. Yeah? And here's the dead person here. You can see in the background here, you see over here, you see there's two towers. Yeah? There's the two towers. Yeah? What are the two towers about? Well, I've explained that. So, this thing, Mary, she died. Aaliyah Dana Houghton. I'm so tired of explaining this, but Aaliyah died the 25th of August 2001 in a plane crash in the Bahamas. Yeah, what goes ba? A lamb. Yeah, ma, Bahamas. Okay, 9/11. Yeah, 2001. World Trade Center. Plane crash. Or plane crashes. Yeah? This is all important because and that was in, New York. That's called the Big Apple, right? So the moon, tarot, obviously, people call a butt, they call that the moon. Well, what do you see here on the moon card? Yeah, you got the two towers. There's a tower there, and there's a tower there. The tower is about destruction. So, the tower card, yeah, that's the tower. That's the tower card. You see the bolt of lightning that comes down from the sky, as if it's come down from God? Yeah? You see the tower. The idea is a sex magic. Tarot is all about sex magic. Because the tower represents the phallus. It's the phallus of destruction. And that's why there's so many evil sex magic practitioners. Guys who want to use their phallus like it's a weapon. See, this is all evil magic designed. It's all, people are trying to steal my power. And it's very crazy. I mean, look at it. I mean, I've explained it. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's not. I mean, this is the truth. I'm telling you the truth. The world is very evil, and they do evil rituals. That's what 9/11 was all about. It was an evil ritual by demons. I mean, the thing is, when I went to, when that happened, I was at a boarding school called Charter House. I started there in September 2001. That's a boarding school. That's the thing, the word charter and boarding is associated with flight, planes. Yeah, flight and planes. I used to listen to heavy metal music. And the reason why Aaliyah's plane crashed was because it was too heavy. It was overloaded. So, all of this is connected. It's been, I figured out who I am because of what was happening to me. These things, these, I'm just telling you about specific events, but my magic happens all the time, every day. I am God. It has become very apparent to me. And I make so many videos explaining who I am, and the world ignores me. Because, I've explained that. I've explained, go watch my video, which is, I say, it's called I Am God. I am High Lung, the ignores snores. Yeah, so the ignores, snores. As in Norse language, they use that magic symbol of the sun cross. And it's a very old symbol. The sun cross is a very old symbol. It predates the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Yet they have no explanation why they use it as a magic symbol, other than it's very old and it was used by their so-called ancestors. They just thought, well, it's a powerful magic thing, so they just use it. People want to ignore me. They want to ignore us, and they want to fall asleep. These are the dead people that are asleep. Dead people. Yeah. What does it say in the book of Revelation? It talks about, the dead rising from their graves. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to wake up. I'm trying to get people to hear me, understand who I am. Because if you don't, it's going to be very bad for you. You are going to wake up dead. You are dead. That's the thing. You are already dead. But this is the thing. You will cease to exist. Or you'll find yourself in a place you don't want to be. The lake of fire. Or both. Right? It's not good news for you. Okay? And these dead people, these people who think they can ignore me, God, you are going to get absolutely destroyed. And the thing, so going back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video about the cistern, the reason it's named that way, it's all about trying to steal my power. I mean, look, let me start with a fresh page here. Look. So what is a toilet? Yeah? That's two, right? So obviously, when I go to do a poo, it's called a number 2, right? And then there's the letter I. And then there's the word let. This is the thing. Demons have tried to create all this babble to try to pretend that, they're trying to steal my power through all these different words, right? There's the word toil, right? That means to struggle. That's toil and let. There's all sorts of, ways you can look at this, right? There's, toy, toilet, right? And obviously sex toy, right? I mean, this is the thing, right? Because, toy is associated with children. Yeah? And sex is also associated with toy. And demons, they want to have sex with minors. Yeah? Remember what I told you about the Minotaur? Yeah, the Minotaur. Notice the word minor is in Minotaur. This is the thing, right? What you call a minor issue, you think that doesn't matter. But, the minor issue, well, that's the thing, right? Children being used in sex slavery, that is a minor issue. but not in the sense that it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that it's about minors, young people. It's a problem. This is how evil, I'm explaining to you how evil the world is. So you can do something about it. You can listen to me, understand who I am. What I'm telling you is the truth. A minor, that's someone who's underground, under the ground. What's associated with underground? That's hell, or, sex dungeon. Yeah, sex dungeon. Yeah, you've heard of Dungeon and Dragons? Yeah, Dungeon and Dragon or Dungeon and Dragons. Yeah, look, dung. Dung is shit, isn't it? Yeah. Um, to wear drag. To wear drag, that's considered cross dressing. Right? Cross dressing. There are lots of smokers. They breathe fire. Dungeon and Dragons, the last film that came out, Hugh Grant, he was in that film. Yeah? My name is Grant. And obviously, I have hugged people, I hugged my mom when I was younger. Yeah? That's the thing. I am Grant Hug. I've hugged people. But this is the thing, they want to pretend that they are Hugh Grant. This is why Hugh Grant's such an annoying wizard guy, right? Because he's a demon working with other demons to try to steal my power. The world wants to think that whoever hugged me is me. They want to pretend that Fiona is Grant because she hugged Grant. Or, you know what a Hugh man is. Well, that's the thing, right? I am the rainbow. That's the thing. I am the rainbow. Rainbow means, hue, the word hue, Hue, is associated with rainbow. That is split light. And this is the thing, because I said, the light shines from my butt. I have a crucified butt. I have a broken butt. And it's magic. It's, it's because of all this magic battle stuff, really, I suppose. But, that's the thing. I have a split bottom. And so the light that comes from my bottom is split light. And that is a rainbow. So my butt is Jesus, the rainbow. I have rainbow Jesus. My butt is rainbow Jesus. Basically, that's one way of I can explain it. Did you see that picture that Meghan Markle um she posted? It's a picture of her son Archie, and he's got his head. So he's got his, the pictures of his back, and he's facing the sun. and his face covers the sun. I'll show it to you. So look, if I search Archie, our sun, where is it? Here it is. So this is the picture of Meghan Markle's son, Archie. Yeah? You see he's got his back turned to the camera and his head is blocking the sun, right? And her caption was, her caption, Meghan Markle wrote, our son, our son. That's what she said about that photo. That was the caption she put. Yeah? You see, I am God. My butt, when I was younger, I used to be, I used to do marching for, I used to be part of the cadet forces. M is just another way of saying butt. Because it looks like a butt. Yeah? Arch. This is the thing. I arch my back. You see, this is how demons, they want to try to steal, look, our key, key. Why do you think Meghan Markle had, she did a series called Archetypes? Yeah, she's, this is a witch. She's a witch trying to steal my power. Meghan Markle. Yeah, I sit at a computer and I type and she wants to she's trying to absorb my power. Cistern, right? Notice the word keys is in cistern, right? CIS. Keys turn. The Holy See, the where is it? Yeah, the keys. Yeah, the keys, keys, Pope's ring. This is the thing. All these demons, they're trying to steal my keys. I mean, think about it, St. Peter's Basilica. So this is the thing, right? I'm not sure if I spelled that correctly, but whatever. St. Peter's Basilica. Well, P, this is the thing. What is P, right? The P, oh, hang on. Penis. Yeah? So this is, penis tear. Yeah? Penis tear. This is the code word of the name P tear. This is about Sodom. Sodomy. And that's what, and this is the thing, because they say that Peter was crucified upside down. Yeah? And then people say that's to do with the auntie. Remember who I was talking about? My auntie Christine, right? So, people are, they associate that symbol with the Antichrist. And, and there's more code word here because an, us, Thai. That's Egypt and Sodom, which is what is associated. Remember what I said about, So if I go to Bible Hub again, so if I go to Revelation 11, yeah, so Revelation 11, Bible Hub, Here we go. Oh, that's Bible Gateway. Okay, that'll do. So, verse 7. Now, when they have, this is talking about the two witnesses, okay? Now, when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower and kill them. Their bodies will lie in the public square of the great city, which is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, where also their Lord was crucified. Okay, so you see, I understand how Babel works. It's like reading code, and that's So I mean, look at this. So it says, now when they have finished their testimony, the beast that comes up from the abyss will attack them and overpower and kill them. So this bit, so their bodies will lie. Well, what does lie mean? Lie has, more than one meaning. What does in mean? Are we talking about, lie in? Is this talking about sex? Yeah, you notice that the word public, the word pubic, is in the word public. That's the thing. The part of the body that is considered, the pubic area of the body is considered private, right? Those are called private parts. The square, the square, well, the anus is often referred to as a box, and, of the great sit. When someone sits down, they're sitting on their butt. I remember what I said about bondage, tie, sit, tie, which is figuratively called Sodom. That's anal sex. Egypt, that's bondage, where also their Lord was crucified. It says here, for 3.5 days. Well, a 3 looks like a butt, right? Look, you can see the 3 up here, right? There's that 3. Yeah, it's shaped like a butt. It's like a drawing. It's like a very basic drawing of a bum. For 3.5 days. Well, when someone's in a relationship, we're having, they say, oh, that's my other half. 3.5 days. It's, do you know what I mean? There's so many, there's so much code word. I'm just trying to explain how it works. What does it say down here? 7,000 people were killed in the earthquake. This is the thing that can, people wonder what that can mean. It can mean so many different things. It can mean a lot of things. Because the number 7 is associated with, so many different things. There's 7 spirits of God, 7 churches. There's the first beast and the dragon. It has they have 7 heads. I mean, there's so many ways to read it. Anyway, I need to roll a cigarette. Hang on. So, I'm just lighting my cigarette. Hang on. So, I was talking about my aunt. I mean, that's the thing. My aunt Christine, she hates Christians. She hates Jesus. She hates God. She hates me. She's an advocate for euthanasia. Yeah, she believes, that she was a doctor, you see. She was a doctor, Um, and she's pro euthanasia. She's all that kind of stuff, and she hates the idea of she doesn't like to believe. She doesn't believe. She's a demon. That's all she is. And I'm really bored of explaining. You know, you notice how so all these cardinals who are so they're trying to vote for the new pope, right? Well, there's 133 cardinals, aren't there? 33 is associated with Freemasonry, Freemasonry, and it's also associated with the death of Jesus. A lot of people think that Jesus died when he was 33. Whether that's true or not, I'm not actually entirely certain, but um, that's the number a lot of people like to say. Um, and so this is all the reason they do it this way. The reason there are 133 cardinals doing this is not an accident that it's 133. Okay, they are witches. They're doing witchcraft. That's what they're doing. You know how they do, they do ho, lie, ma. Yeah? Ma, ass. Yeah? Ma, ass. Ho, lie, ma, ass. Yeah, that's, this is the, Mary, whore of Babylon. That's what she is. God said, you shall have no other gods before me. Now, this is the thing. When Jesus was born, it was Mary birthed Jesus. Yeah? So, Mary was before in that sense Mary was before Jesus. But really, Jesus explained, Jesus said, before Abraham was, I am. So, this is the thing. These demons, they're trying to usurp, they're trying to supplant, they're trying to steal my throne. They're demons. People want to have, a good opinion of Mary. They want to have a good opinion of Abraham. They want to have a good opinion of King David. They want to have a good opinion of Moses and a good opinion of Jacob and all these people and Paul. What if I told you they're all evil? What if I told you they're all usurpers? Yeah, that's what they want to do. They're usurpers. That's what they are. It's interesting, isn't it? Because God takes all of the glory. Yeah, God takes all of the glory. You see, all these other people who are mentioned in the Bible, well, most of them are usurpers. They're people trying to steal the throne of God. It seems that they just can't help themselves. They see the cookie jar and they just want to take all the cookies. They're like, yeah, they can't help. They're like a little child who can't help themselves from opening the cookie jar and eating all the cookies. That's what they are. Obviously, the situation is very, very serious for Mary, Abraham, King David, Jacob. Paul. I will punish them and anybody else who thinks that they can steal my glory. Because that's what they're trying to do. That's what I've explained this. I mean, that's the other thing as well, because, the word, so recycling, yeah? So, when's the harvest? The sickle, yeah? Or, well, the sickle, the book of Revelation, it talks about the angel on the cloud, or the angels on the clouds, thrust in your sickle and reap the earth. Well, this is the thing, Mary, she is trying to control the sickling. Yeah, the sickling or the sickle. She's trying to escape punishment. She's trying to escape me punishing her. When I put the bins out, so when where I live, remember what I said? I am the crack of lightning. Yeah, I am the crack of lightning. So when I'm supposed to put the rubbish out, it's always on a Thursday. You know, the old way of saying Thursday was Thor's. Yeah, Thor's day. As in, you know, Thor apostrophe S day. You know, Thor is the Norse god. You know what he's, you know, that's what he's called. He comes from Norse mythology, and he's basically his equivalent to Zeus and Jupiter. Thor's day. Like I said, I am God. I am the crack of lightning. I am Yahweh. You know, that was my name. That's the name that I've been called. Yeah, storm god. Yeah, these demons will fall from my throne. They will fall like lightning. So, I'm done with this video.